Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for the first match of round 2 in the Paris Olympic Sevens. Australia versus Kenya. Australia getting themselves a win in their first contest. The Kenyans, a valiant effort up against the Argentines, but then just falling up short to a few quick tries being scored at the end by Los Pumas. Looking through at the starting lineup, it is going to be John Okeo for the Kenyans, Vincent Onyala, Kevin Waikesa, Anthony Mboya, Samuel Azate, Patrick Okongo, who we didn't actually see a huge amount of throughout that first game, which was quite the surprise, and then Ojwang, the man who did get himself the first try for Kenya in that first contest. For the Australians, it is Henry Hutchison, Ben Dowling, Dietrich Roach, James Turner, Nick Maloof, Maurice Longbottom, and also Nathan Lawson. So quite a few changes for the Australians in terms of their starting side. We did see James Turner coming off the bench in the last game. He has got pure pace, and Paulo Duarte will be the referee in charge of this matchup. We have got there Australia 23 to 20 from Daniel, Australia 30 to 19 from Mohammed, and also Aussie win by 12, says Andrew there as well. But do let me know your score predictions in the comments as well. The Kenyans, they want to get themselves back on the right track, because to make it through to the next stage is not unheard of from this point in the competition. How is the feed, Amish? I have not had it yet. We ended up filming the 2 videos, one of which did go up just before, of Argentina versus Samoa, for a short little preview, kind of breaking down what's going to happen in that game. And then we also did the Fiji versus USA preview. So I haven't had food yet, but I will have it at some point. Kenya 21-19. Says Razor Robinson, but the Australians, they are going to be kicking off this one. And we are underway now for the second match for these two sides. But Henry Hutchison, big shot coming in on him from Okongo. Nathan Lawson, we know how much pace that man has. He's going to be lurking around the wings when he gets that chance. And nice run from Dietrich Roach. Inside ball to James Turner. Australia will score within 25 seconds of the game starting. That is a brilliant start for them. Just the one missed tackle from Kenya ends up costing them massively. Augustina said Kenya 50. Get some food in you, lad, says Grant. And there as well, yeah, we've been a bit time limited, unfortunately. Like, I would like to make something, but I didn't even have time to, like, if I wanted toast, I wouldn't have had enough time to cook it in between those streams. But hopefully in the next gap we'll get something of substance. Nice work from James Turner, though, to be able to score that try. The big smile on his face. Like I mentioned, he came off the bench in the last game. And Dietrich Roach, he has got that one over, making the score now 7-0 for the Australians. The next game that we are doing, it is Argentina versus Samoa. That will be taking place straight after this one. And closely followed by a game between USA and Fiji. And then the last game of the day that we are doing, it is New Zealand versus South Africa. It's going to be a hard-hitting affair, but Australia now kicking this one off from left to right. It's gone high. Nathan Lawson trying to slap that one back, but it's nicely taken by Tony Mboya. Now in possession, Kenya on the short side. Onyala, big shot coming in on him, and that is going to be the penalty. That's your problem. You don't cook toast. It takes too long, says Grant there. And good luck, Kenya. Bring it home, says Blues Nate. Like Henry Hutchison, the man who has been penalised for that one. And the breakdown ended up with the arms going down. Understand why that was a penalty, even though he feels like he did nothing wrong. When your elbows are down like that, the question is, what haven't you done wrong in that breakdown? Kenya look like they have decided to go for the scrum. So they've decided against going for that kick towards the touchline. They'll lose a bit of territory in that position. Kenya 50 to win. Now let's go, says Augustine, and good luck, Kenya. Bring it home, says Blues. A little kick in behind. Attempted here from Kenya. The ball sits up nicely, taken by Onyala, but he's going to be chased down there by Nick Maloof, who once again has his hand down. It's a pretty cynical penalty from the Australians, but it's not going to matter because Tony Mboya has gone through and scored the try anyway for Kenya. That is between the sticks, and that will now make the score 7-all. He's done the golf celebration there for the captain. He was actually the man who did the first initial kick in behind. Then from then, Kenya ended up with the ball. And yeah, Nick Maloof, he's probably lucky not to get a yellow card there. It might be a good thing Kenya score. What time is the next Irish match? I believe it is at 7 a.m. New Zealand time, which I think it would be 9 p.m. for you in Ireland, or it might be 8 p.m. in fact for yourself. The celebration from Mboya does the golf celebration. Like a decent swing too. Might play a bit of golf in his spare time. That one's going to be nicely taken by James Turner. Australia have managed to get the position. One try apiece after the first 4 minutes or so. Dietrich Roach goes across to Dowling. One more pass on the outside to Nick Maloof, who's tackled low by Ojwang. Mistake made by Maurice Longbottom. Knocks the ball on. And get in, Kenya, says Grant. As well, but that is a big mistake from the Australians. Maurice Longbottom just looking up to where he wanted to run rather than where the ball was. Kenya, once again, similar to the game up against Argentina, they are well and truly in this fight. And as long as they stay competitive throughout the first half, of course, that is going to be a massive bonus for them, but it's that second half that I think they really need to get right, because they weren't really able to do that in the match up against Argentina. They conceded too many tries in a row, and that's when it started going slightly more downhill for the Kenyans. But they have got the opportunity with the scrum here to see whether or not they can make some sort of meters going to the near side of the field here. It's going to be a good tackle made. 22 meters out from the line here for Kenya. Another try could be just on the horizon. Azati dropped that one, but it did go backwards. It's going to be play on for Kenya down the wing. Nice offload on the inside. The last thing Australia want is the upset against them being scored. This first half, Henry Hutchinson does run the dummy run, and instead Dowling crashes it now. Dietrich Roach trying out his pace. Tackled by Ojwang, who's a long way off his wing, which makes me think Australia will now shift this one to the right, and that is exactly what they're going to do. Henry Hutchinson thought about the offload. Tries to keep on attacking. Where is Roof to tell people to like and subscribe? Says Grant and good works, New Zealand All Whites, 2-1 over Guinea. Keep it going, lads. Good start for New Zealand in the football. Down the wing, Dietrich Roach. Kicked in behind. Nathan Lawson is winning this foot race by a mile. All he needs to do is just place that ball, and it is going to be the try now for the Australians. And Midnight Sevens dinner and Killer Hamish commentary now. Val went home to sort of push-ups out. Might make days, or might take days. Says Warren there, and go for gold, New Zealand. Says the Blues. Nate, did you see the news about the Canadian side? For the women's football, they had someone send up a drone and have a spy on New Zealand's training session to try and get some intel. And then, of course, afterwards, Canada did say, we have no association with them. They weren't a core member of our trainers, but, you know, doing a bit of the cheeky tactics, trying to get some aerial advantage over the New Zealanders in the women's football. And let's go Kenya, says Katavi there. That one has gone over from Dietrich Roach, and that will now make the score 14 points to 7. And Yona has said, Kenya, please do something. Yeah, they need another try, I would say, before the end of this half, although they have only got a few seconds remaining, only 7 seconds left on the clock at the moment. But second half, they will need a very good start here for the Kenyans, but it's going to be kicked off by Dietrich Roach. Goes high. That's going to be knocked on by the Kenyans. Dowling gets the position back, and there is a knock-on from Australia as well. So it is halftime, 14 points to 7. Fast-paced one between those two sides. That actually happened between Australia and Samoa as well. The first half just absolutely flew. Australia were close to getting themselves 1 or 2 more tries there. Kenya had some great attacking moments. Was it a drone or a bird? By classification, as per pronouns today, says Warren. I don't think they tried that approach. They did just say, whoopsies, we didn't know they were sending up a drone. As anyone on the Oz squad from the national team, says Nate Dogg. So they don't have Michael Hooper. He's one of the players that they don't have. Mark Nwanganitawasi is there. And then also alongside him, I think they have one more. Oh, Corey Toole, who I don't think has international experience for the Wallabies, but he played for the Brumbies throughout Super Rugby Pacific. Hang in there, Kenya. Probably gone to the bottom. Sears Nate and Australia by 17 is Mark's prediction there for this match. And of course, the next game just around the corner, Samoa versus Argentina, just as crucial as this one. Any points on the board are massive for these sides. The tool shed says Razor Robinson would be closed by now, and keep trying, Kenya, says Kevin. And that's one thing we know that Kenya have got in them, is just that spirit to keep on trying no matter what. Whether they're down by 15 or whether they're down by 2 points, they will keep on fighting. What happens if Kenyans don't win? Says Great Mind. It's going to be a lot more tricky for them to make their way through to the next stage unless they beat Samoa tomorrow. That would be the other factor that might get them through. Of course, depending on what happens in that Samoa versus Argentina game is the other factor. But yeah, if they manage to beat Samoa, they would actually have more chance of qualifying than the Samoans, as they would be ahead of them on the points table. So it's not all doom and gloom for Kenya at this point if they do have 2 losses under their belt in the first 2 games, because they can still make it through to the next stage. It would just be more challenging being the 1 or 2nd best third place team. Is Marky Mark playing? He hasn't made his way on the field as of yet, I don't believe, for Mark Nwanga Netawasi. He will be making his way off the bench a little bit later on in this game. Oh well, Grants, I got vodka and spirits. Says Blues Nate. Now Kenya ready to kick this ball off. 14 points to 7 at the moment is the way that the scoreboard sits. It's kicked off high by Kenya. Decent distance on it, and Matthew Gonzalez, the man who does clean it up, not releasing that ball, but the penalty, I believe, has gone the way of... Oh no, it does go the way. Wait. Whose ball is that? Is it Kenya's? No, it's Australia's, I believe, for a player leaving his feet. In fact, it might have been for not rolling away there. Or was it no, it was a Kenyan penalty. Sorry, they zoomed in that far. I couldn't actually see what way the referee had awarded that one, but they have actually given the penalty to Kenya. It could have gone either way in that breakdown, though. Now, again, it's going to be the captain there. To the right-hand side. Nice stepping from Ojwang. They got another try in them here. Kenya, if it's a converted one, they will be in the lead in this contest. Good low tackle made by James Turner. Onyala going across to the left-hand side. Good stepping from Ojwang. Trying to lure in the defence. Ben Dowling makes that next tackle to the right-hand side now. Slinging this one quite nicely for the Kenyans. Inside ball. Onyala almost leads with the elbow into the head of James Turner. That is a little bit dangerous. Now skip pass, rush defence from Nick Maloof. It was a floaty pass, so the opportunity to get up there in the face was certainly there. But Kenya on the short side, they're going to go back their captain in position. Amondi. Nick Maloof, he's looking at the ref saying, I can't move, I'm stuck in a Kenyan sandwich. So I don't think he will be penalised in that breakdown. Boss your knowledge and player naming screams. Hamish isn't human. Wake up, Kenya, come on. Kenya have to score. 12 points to 7. It is 14 points to 7 at the moment. Onyala tackled again by James Turner, who's had to really work hard throughout this game so far. Now Ojwang again, tackled low by Nick Maloof. A bump off this Australian defence. This is reminding me a lot of what we saw in the first game. How there was a lot of phases in a row for the Kenyans up against Argentina. They were starving them of possession. That's going to be the knock-on, though, from the Kenyans. Picked up by Henry Hutchison. Thought about the offload. Couldn't get it away. Matthew Gonzalez, 40 metres out from his line. Here comes Nathan Lawson with some good pace. Moves it up to halfway. The penalty goes the way of the Australians. Why didn't they make the most of the numbers there, Kenya? Do people drift a lot better in sevens? They do normally, yeah. So it could look open out on the wing. But then from there, you do see like a lot of players are able to cut down on that space unless you have a 2-on-1 normally or just someone with pure pace. Nice run from Matthew Gonzalez over the ball. That's got to be a penalty, to the Kenyans. Put Marky Mark on, says Razor Robinson, and sliding D is massive, yeah. Way more space though, says Charles Barkley. Right, they've decided to take it quickly here, Kenya, and kicking it in behind. Winning the foot race as well here. Just needs to bounce of the ball. It does sit up, but he is going to be tackled about 15 metres out from the try line, and the penalty will go the way of Australia for not releasing. The players are absolutely exhausted by the looks of it now. They're lucky they've only got 2 games that they have to play today, but the foot race, it was won by Kenya. Oh, it's a pin over. I guess a penalty turnover and a little bit of a mismatch or a bit of a matchup. So close to breaking away for Okongo. What's that side entry from Lawson? You'd probably say it wasn't quite through the gate. I think God's has this, says Nate Dogg. Yeah, 3.5 minutes remaining now between these two sides. Not a lot of time left. So there might be a bit of a knee injury here as well for Okongo after that big run through that he had. I love a pin over, says Charles in there as well. Oh, coverage froze for a second here in New Zealand. Of course, quite far to Paris. I need match 6 for my eyes, says Blue here. I'm getting a little bit that way as well. I might be able to get like a 30 or 50 minute nap before work. It's that time of the night where Hamish speaks in tongues. I think it is. I feel like as soon as you have that break in between streams, your brain goes to sleep. So it's slowly waking back up now. We can't subscribe for Voa, says Paul. It is hard, says Hector. Nice run forward from Corey. Toole gets back up to his feet, has another crack at this Kenyan defence. We do see Kukoyo. He's now made his way onto the field. He has Mark Nwanganetawasi. No, in fact, it's Henry Patterson, and he's got through. Kenya missing a couple tackles. We can't subscribe for Vocal. We need video, says Paul. Well, you might have to go onto the Olympics website as your best bet, because sadly on YouTube you aren't allowed to show any match footage or audio without having prior purchasing of licensing. What chances do Kenya have in this match? They're still in it, only 7 points down at the moment. A draw would be massively beneficial for the Kenyans here if they can't get themselves the win. Come on, Kenya, says Razor. Australia score again, you reckon, says Mark. I think that they've got the fresh enough legs to be able to get another try if the Kenyans aren't able to get one first. Only 2 minutes remaining, and Australia are kicking this one towards the touchline. They will be about 25 metres out from the line with the line out. Time is off. A few more subs going to be made. I believe this is where we might see Mark Nwanganetawasi show us live match, and we want to subscribe, says Paula. Well, sadly, if we show any match footage, we get taken down off YouTube for 3 months. We get possibly sued by the Olympics as well, and I can tell you right now, that costs a lot more than one subscription. So sadly, we are unable to show match footage and audio just because of not paying millions of dollars for licensing. But that is Corey Toole now down the wing. They looked like there might have been a bit of an injury for one of the Kenyan players who wanted to run around, try and cut off Toole, but he has got pure pace. Played for the Brumbies throughout Super Rugby Pacific and has now got himself another try for the Aussie Sevens. What other matches are you covering today? We are covering the match between Samoa and Argentina. We are also doing the game between Fiji and USA and New Zealand versus South Africa. They are the other games that we have got. Coming up, the Marky Mark and Tulshi combo is a dream, says Charles. Of course, this will actually be the last year that we can see it because Mark Nwanganetawasi has confirmed that he is going to Rugby League for next season, joining up with the NRL. And come on, Kenya, says Razor. It's a good try from Toole. Now makes the score 19 points to 7 in favour of the Australians with the kick to come, which has gone over. Now it is 21 points to 7. If you can't watch it on telly, trust me, Hamish commentary adds spit to the polish. You can almost feel the hits, says Warren. And there as well. Corey Toole, like I mentioned, for the Brumbies, he was outstanding out on the wing. Did they take the kick? They did indeed, and they did manage to get it over with Dietrich Roach. They're now making the score 21 points to 7. If Kenya get themselves a converted try, they would receive a bonus point in this game, which could be massive for them heading into their last game. But they definitely have to beat Samoa. That is one goal that Kenya cannot fail at, or else they will be out of the competition. What do you think, or who do you think will win the Olympics rugby? I'm a bit undecided. There are a lot of great sides taking part in the Sevens this year. I do believe, though, that New Zealand or Fiji, one of the two finalists from last Olympics, will be in the final of this one. But New Zealand had a pretty poor showing at times up against the Japanese, so maybe it's Fiji out of those two. There's going to be the penalty now going the way of Kenya. Ametsa thought about taking the quick dap, and now they decide to hear the Kenyans. Yeah, big attacking run. It's required for Kenya. They have decided to take another quick tap by the looks of it there. Thought about the inside ball. Hutchison was looking the wrong way, but he has still almost managed to make that tackle. And drew that Hamish Kenya chances over their next opponent. It's charged down. That's a mistake. Kenya tried the kick, and Australia block it, put it into touch, and that will be the end of this game. The win for the Australians, 21 points to 7, but Kenya's hopes are not all done yet. If they beat Samoa, they are at least in the shot of going through as a third-place team in their group. And the two of the three who will be going through. And Kenya Y says, unfold me there. Yeah, not quite the game that the Kenyans were after. But they still, once again, even in defeat, they showed some pretty solid skills. And they are going to be on the World Sevens circuit next year. And I feel like that is where we're going to get to see Kenya really find that full potential. But nonetheless, our next game that we are covering, ladies and gentlemen, will be starting in 5 minutes' time. So be sure to check that one out. But I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And I will see you all for the next one.